on the spot, ready. I'm sorry that I'm late. I had a bunch of meetings this morning, and I had kind of a shitty morning, but I was looking forward to seeing all of you. Hi, T and Kate and Sheepishness and Pantalina and Luis and Ashley Busta Volleyball and Ginger, Lauren, Pantalina, Danny, Emily B. How are you all doing? Hi, Rachel Ray, Mayor Fleur. Hey, 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 and Heidi. I always wanted to say that way, Heidi. Ellen, I know, I'm sorry that I was late. I just kind of had a rough morning. Sorry, I got to get my chapstick because I've been drinking my gross veggie smoothie, and then later I'm going to have a sandwich because I've just have been running late today. Hi, Elena and Ben Jensen. Ben, that's an interesting name. Hey, Ben Pops, thank you for the likes. Hi, Allie B, Becky P, and Miriam, and Lauren Ashley. How's everybody doing? Amber Rose is here. Allie Rose is here. I know, I'm sorry that I was an hour late. Kai is here. Thank you for the likes. Of course I could still make it. I've been looking forward to this. Like I was saying, I kind of had like a shitty morning. But you know what? I can always count on my Kenyans to brighten my day. So thanks for waiting on me. And I know that a lot of you were like, it's really late and I can't stay up. And I totally understand. Don't worry. But can you guys see me okay? Yes. Okay, cool. Yay! Oh, you got great news, Melita. That's so awesome. Yay. Oh, I know. I do remember that time, Carly, that you and Al got Kenyan tattoos. Yay. So I think today, since I haven't guested a lot of you, like I've only guested a few people per broadcast, I'll try to guest at least 4 or 5 of you today. And I also just want to chat for a minute and see how all of you are doing. Yeah, because like I said, I just kind of had a poop morning. But it was also, there's always silver lining, right? Like the cool thing was I was at this meeting and I got to meet some other therapists doing amazing things, and I'm hoping to connect with them because we'll have other specialists. I met this guy. He's wonderful. His name is Christian, and he focuses on his work. He focuses his work on those who have been in prison and helping them overcome the shame and embarrassment and get back into society. And we had so much to talk about. Brené Brown, he's a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. Anyways, we had a really, really cool time, and so that's always a silver lining, is getting to meet people who are doing similar, like different things than me, but still making a wonderful impact and just helping other people. I love therapists. I love therapy. I love the psychology world. You know, thanks, Ronnie. So I'll be on for at least an hour and a half, Ashley. So it's 2:30, so at least till 4 p.m. PST. But maybe a little longer, depending on, you know, how things go today and how much energy I have. Because like I said, it was kind of a shitty day. But we all have shitty days, and that doesn't mean that I'm going to wallow in it. I feel it. Thanks, Emily, for the bars. Just letting myself be like, oh, that wasn't the best. But then, you know, thinking things are good. I have you guys. I'm so excited. I was so excited to hang out with you. When I was leaving with one of the other women that was at the meeting, she was like, what are you going to do for the rest of your day? And I was like, I'm going to go hang out with my Kenyans. And then I explained what that meant. So, you know, thank you guys. Thanks for being here for me. Thanks, Dawson E. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, and I have like a shit ton of makeup on. Do you guys see this? I even have mascara on my lower eyelashes, which was frightening to me. But anyways, that's why I'm all done up. And I'm wearing like a business dress because it had to be all business. But anyways, let me know how you guys are doing. My name is a common Estonian name? Really? Is it spelled the same? What? That would be crazy. Oh, yay, Isabel Pell watching us with her little man. Oh, Princess Panda is sick. I'm sorry. So, anyways, just so you guys understand, because I hadn't said anything about the Streamys. Can we talk about the Streamys for a minute? I didn't say anything because I wasn't nominated. And at first, they even changed what we'd... remember I told you all to vote for science and education and health and wellness? Well, when they announced nominations, they announced that it was health and fitness. And it was all fitness people. So I was really disappointed. And I hadn't said anything because that kind of frustrated me that they got rid of, like, you know, wellness altogether. And there was no, like, health, like mental health, physical health, none of that. It was just fitness, which I'm not a big fan of. And so I hadn't said anything and I didn't plan on going. But then my good friend Alana was like, please come, we have extra tickets, do you want to go? And so Sean and I last minute were like, yeah, we'll go. And that's why I went and got my nails did, and got myself together. I was, I was proud because I did my own hair and makeup. And you guys know, I did not. Erin, I know that you totally know how to do all of that. I was a tomboy growing up. My mom was a tomboy. I didn't learn shit. So I was really proud of myself. We had a really good time. But then I came home because I had all this stuff going on this morning and I wanted to be fresh as a daisy for you. And so that's why I hadn't mentioned the Streamys at all. But I love John Kozar. I love me some John Kozar. He was hilarious. OMG. He did a great job. Mamrie got to win. I was so excited for her. It was just wonderful. So I hope you all enjoyed. Oh, thanks, Erin. Ooh, sorry, I bumped the table. Thanks, Ronnie. You guys are so sweet. So anyway, that's kind of the story about that. And that's why I never mentioned the Streamys. I didn't tell you guys I was going because I wasn't planning on it. Because if Alana hadn't invited us, I wouldn't have been able to go. Thanks, Ronnie, for the likes. And sometimes, like, it's, oh yeah, with Dodie, Heidi. And Dodie was there. I didn't get to see her, which was kind of unfortunate because I didn't go to the after party because I just felt like I needed to be an adult and go home. But she was like a little bit too far away from my table. Our tables were on the same row, but she was like 6 tables away. But I texted with her and she goes home today, so I didn't get to see her again. But yeah, Dodie's a really, really sweet person. I really like her. So anyway, and she didn't win her award either, which I was kind of bummed. I texted her. I thought she won. I voted for her. But yeah, does anybody know who that Poppy... Is it Poppy that won the music award? Does anybody know what? I didn't think she sang. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Does anybody know who that is? Nope. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Poppy is weird as hell. Okay. It's not just me. I didn't understand. She had a really cool outfit. But you guys, she's like the Gaga of digital space because she showed up in a box. I don't mean like she came out like a birthday, like out of a birthday cake. Ta-da, I'm here. She legit had her guy that was with her pull her across the red carpet in a box. Very interesting. So anyway, that was her. Yeah, and she's playing a part, of course, totally. That's why I was like, I think she's like Lady Gaga. Like her name isn't Poppy. Obviously, her name is, who knows, Samantha Jones. We don't know. It's a random person, but it's really, really interesting, I know, her man pulling in her, right? Yeah, but she is a character, totally. It's just interesting. It's just such an interesting thing to even think of. But she's all into, like, she went to art school and she's very, like, she thinks outside the box. Pun intended. Zing. Thanks, Becky P. Okay, let's answer some questions. I know if her name was legitimately Samantha Jones, it'd be awesome. Oh, really, Taylor? That's cool. Thanks, Dawson E, for the bars. Okay, Darren, how'd you get your avatar to do all that fancy stuff? It's so crazy. You're so talented. Okay, let's see. So Sarah's asking, what's the difference between counseling and therapy? Now, the truth is that there's really no difference. The only reason we use different terms is based on who you see. So the difference for you is nothing. Nilch. Nada. Thanks, Dawson. Woo, woo, woo. Thanks, Get Skittles. I was drinking some Swamp Brownie, but I'm all done. I'm all swamped out. But counseling is when you see a counselor. Therapy is when you see a therapist. And they use therapy even if you see like a psychologist. I don't know why they have different terms, but just know for you, it means nothing. All you need to know and all you need to ask from someone before you see them is make sure that they're licensed. Thanks, Allie B. Woo, woo, woo. Make sure they're licensed. Make sure that if you need something specialized, like if you have an eating disorder, if you struggle with self-injury, make sure they understand it or have some training in it. Make sure that they specialize in some fashion. And then make sure you like them. That's it. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what degree they have or how many years they've been working in the field. None of that actually matters when it comes to like our connection and making sure that they can give us the help that we need and deserve. Thank you guys so much for the likes. Woo, woo, woo. Okay. Let's see. Melita says he's super excited to talk to you and willing to give you all the... Oh, awesome. Thank you. I know I got your messages. I just haven't had a chance to respond because I haven't been home and I haven't even been able to get through things. So thanks. Allie B is coming in hot with the likes. Procrastinator Junior says, what do you do when you're doing good but you find yourself self-harming? Just hear me out. Let me know if you guys think this is also true. I find that when we're doing really well, if we're not used to it or we've been struggling for a long time, thank you, Dawson. Woo woo. Oh, I will, Erin. She's off to see her nephews. We will be thinking of you and hope that your gallbladder scan goes well. Hey, Ava. I'll be keeping my fingers crossed. So anyways, when we're finally doing better, if we've been doing terribly for so long, don't any of you just feel like when things are good, you like just waiting for something to be fucked up, like something to go down that's not good? I think that's kind of what happens. And so even though we're doing well, we may still be using some kind of unhealthy coping skill, either out of comfort, out of habit, or out of the thought that like, well, things have always been shit, so it's about to be shit again. And we almost like prepare for the worst when we don't really need to. And so it's like waiting for the shoe to drop. You've heard that term, right? Waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's like, well, we know things are bad and they can happen, but we're like, no, we still like know that we're feeling better, but with shitty things always happen. So even though it feels good, that we're just waiting for that to come down and for that to happen. Does that make sense? I know I'm rambling. That's just me today. I'm not at my best. But I think that's why we use unhealthy coping skills even when we're feeling fine. What do you guys think? Is that how you guys experience it, or am I way off? Because I learn most from you. Oh, okay, good, Procrastinator Junior. I'm glad that was helpful. Yeah. Oh, it's funny, Melita. She said it just before I did. Thanks, Ronnie. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, good. I'm glad, because, you know, everybody's different. And so I always want to make sure that I'm not missing something from you. Okay, so Dana, thanks, Dawson E is coming in hot today. When is it okay? This is a good question, Dana. Dana says, when it is a, blah, blah. Maybe this is a video. You guys, hold the phone. Sean's not here, by the way. I'm sorry. But I'm going to email this to myself because maybe for a future Thursday video, I answer this question again. But I got to send it to myself first because my brain is like a sieve and I will lose it. And I'll say vid idea. Sorry, you guys. If I had Sean here, but he's editing today. Okay, so I know we are busy today. 2:26. Yay, 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 yay. Oh, Eugenia's here. I met Eugenia at the Playlist Live. I forget how long ago. It's wonderful, lovely, super sweet. Okay, so the question I was going to answer is, when is it okay to give up? I'm not going to get any better. And I think a lot of us feel like that. Oh, thanks, Eugenia. And am I saying it right, Eugenia? That's how I've always just said it in my head, but I don't know if that's necessarily correct. And I always, as my Kenyans know, I try to make sure that I say everything properly. Yeah, it was wonderful meeting you. You were dressed up like a Pokemon, I think. Super cute. It was Buck Hollywood, you know, Michael Buckley that introduced us. So, anyways, I always get this question, like, when do we give up? And I know that a lot of us feel that way. Like, when is it okay to give up? I'm not going to get any better. And I think that there are times when, yeah, Sheepishness put in my video. Yay, yay, yay. Oh, and Amy, we got a new Patreon patron. Woo, woo, woo. I got to get, you guys, I haven't even. Also, Denise, if you're on these thumb chucks, every time I open the drawer, I don't know if it's, of course, there it's doing it. If you bump it, it lights up. And so legitimately, every time I open our giveaway box, it like lights up. It's like a little party in there. Oh yeah, Eugenia's a fan. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, Ooks is here. But anyway, so giving up. First of all, we won't have none of that. I don't believe in giving up. And I say that understanding that it can be painful, that things can feel real shit, and it can feel like it's just getting worse and worse, and why would I even try anymore? And we can feel that frustration and that hurt and that pain, and it can be so intense. But I still think that we have to try. And that doesn't mean that we have to be going 100%, going to get better. It's linear. I've started recovery and I start here and I get there and I'm moving here. It's not like that. It's a process, not perfection. Be a little kinder with yourself. Know that we're going to have days where we feel like shit and we say, I want to give up. And we don't maybe do anything to help ourselves that day. But that doesn't mean that the next day we don't get up and try again. And that's what I really mean by like, we can't just give up. Because truthfully also, as another statement to make, is like, we know where all this shitty stuff gets us. Because we're there. We know how it feels. We know what to expect. You know what's more exciting? What we don't know, which is what does doing positive things, what does helping ourselves, what does talking back to that nasty voice one more time get us? We don't know. But I can tell you, I know from experience that it gets us to the places that we want to be. It helps us feel better about who we are. It helps us feel more hopeful. Helps us in those shit days to be like, you know what, like I had a shitty morning, right? But in the Uber home, I was like, you know what, like that was a lesson learned. That was something I tried, something different. It was great. I got to meet these great people. So it didn't work out perfectly for me. That's not the end of the world because I'm going to get up again and I'm going to try again. And I'm going to fight for my opinions. I'm going to do things that I think are positive for mental health. And that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to get up tomorrow. I'm going to do it again. And you can talk yourself out of those hopeless shit places. And if you can't do it for yourself, say it from a voice that you can hear, like whether it's mine or your therapist or your best friend or your mom or whomever, maybe even your cat or dog. Sometimes as a kid, I used to imagine that my dog would talk to me. I don't know if that makes me crazy, but I really thought that he was like one of my best friends because I would talk to him about everything. So however you can get that positive reinforcement, get it, tell it to yourself because it's never time to give up. There's always more we can do, but don't expect perfection and don't expect it to be this like easy path, okay? I love you guys talk to your cat too. See, we talk to our animals. You know, I'm just like you. I can't help it. I love it. Okay. Yeah, Sheep has a really good statement. It says, stop fighting yourself and fight for yourself. And that's the thing, because we're our worst enemy. We're the one that's the most critical. And if we stop doing that and we actually put all that energy into ourselves, it can feel so, so much better. I know, right? My animal knows what I'm saying. That's how I've always felt that way, Allie. Oh, awesome, Emily B. That's so cool. So she's going to become a Patreon patron soon. Okay. Let's see. Heidi says, my therapist knows. Control the scroll. Says, my therapist knows. Thanks, Sadie girl. That I've had something to tell her for a long time, and it's the root of all my problems, and I keep avoiding it. Thoughts? So your therapist knows. So what's holding you back? Is it that you don't know how to put words to it, or you've never said it out loud? If that's the case, I would encourage you to practice saying it to yourself. First saying it in your mind, then saying it actually out loud, writing it down. All of those things are ways to get it out when we feel like we just can't, even though we want to, we know it would be helpful. Honestly, that's my best advice is work on saying it, practice it, hear it in your head, write it down, and then say it. Because if you feel like it's the root of all your problems and it's something that can be really, really helpful in your therapy. Oh, hey, Alice. Woo, woo. Then do it. Just do it. I know it's scary, but sometimes I find like anything that I'm really scared about, sometimes I'm like, you know, I'm just going to go for this. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to like rip the Band-Aid off and just say it out loud, like verbally vomit it. So, but if you can do that, thanks. Oops. Yay, yay, yay. Woo, woo, woo. But you can write it down and bring it to them too. You can just bring it in. Then you don't have to say it out loud at all. That can also be helpful if it's just too much. But keep us posted, okay? Okay, let's guess somebody. Oh, Harley, you gotta go. Well, thanks for hanging out. I'm glad you were able to get on, and hang out with us at all today. Okay, Deborah, are you ready? Deborah, you're up. Let's be your guest, Put our service to the test. Tie your napkin round your neck, Sherry, and we'll... Why?
Deborah. Deborah. You need little pads for her feet.
Nope. I guess maybe Deborah didn't want to. Oh, okay, bye, Ooks. Thanks for hanging out. I'm glad that we were able to hit your break. That's perfect. Yay, yay, yay. Oh, yeah, and someone was getting on a flight to Iceland. Was that you? Was it Heidi? I forget who it was that said they were about to get on that flight. But have a fun trip. Okay, let's see. Princess Panda says, how do I ask for help from an eating disorder? I'm a teen and I'm afraid to ask for help. I know my family doesn't believe in eating disorders. If your family, first of all, I'm just going to throw this out there. Thank you, Emily. Give your family a chance. If you've already tried to tell them and they're like, those things don't exist, it's only on television or whatever, or just eat. Those are some of my favorite things people say. If they say anything like that and you've already tried it, okay. But if they haven't, give them the opportunity to surprise you. Families often surprise us. Parents surprise my clients each and every day with the amount of support and understanding they can give them. Just when they're given the amount of time, they get the information that they need, and they're given the amount of time to like figure out how they feel about it and then respond to them, they surprise us positively. So give them a chance, okay? Then the second thing is that after doing that, or let's say it's shit, let's say they're like, no, this doesn't exist, just eat, or get over it, or whatever bullshit answer someone says to us that doesn't get it, talk to someone else. Talk to a school counselor, talk to a teacher, talk to a friend, talk to anybody. Find a therapist in your area if you can afford it. Find if they take your insurance. Get the list from your insurance and call the therapist and go see them. There are a ton of ways that we can get help on our own. I think you said you're a teenager, so the best thing could possibly be school. School has psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists, and people available. We just have to ask for it. If you're in a public school and it's like federally funded in any way, they have to have access to mental health professionals. So ask for it. Get the help you need. And I know it sucks, and sometimes we aren't, like, if we're feeling like shit, this is like the double-edged sword of mental health issues as well as physical issues. But with mental health issues, it's like we feel like shit, but then we're supposed to reach out, but we feel like shit, so we can't really reach out, and we don't have the energy to do it. And it's like we go back and forth, and it's really, really hard. So if you have someone who can speak up for you, like a friend who can go with you to the school counselor, and even if you decide to run away because you can't talk to her or him, have your friend share and try to get that ball rolling, like get the help you need. Sometimes we need somebody else to kind of push us over the finish line and get us the support. But I also have my eating disorder workbook. It's available on iTunes. I think, is it still available through the site? I think it is. But yeah, that can be really helpful too. So I hope that kind of gets you going. Okay. Hazy Secrets. Hey. Okay. Syrian, I think is the name, from Florida, it looks like. Maybe, oh, actually, no, it doesn't do states. I think it just, I don't know where this is from. We'll have to ask her if we can get her over here. Oh, Skylar, that's a good question. Can you ask that again once this, hi!
Hi.
How are you?
I'm pretty good.
That's a cute
Oh,
puppy
good.
dog. Oh.
Yeah, this is my puppy, Spyro.
Oh, hi! So how is everything going? I don't want to get distracted because I'll totally get distracted.
Well, I had a MRI scan today, for science, actually, about, hallucinations.
Oh, interesting. So they believe it'll show if they're happening or not, or what's going on, or what's the...
Yeah, they had me imagine, a round object or, a square object,
Oh, okay.
and then they scanned my brain. It was really exhausting, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure. They say those are exhausting. Lots of my clients, when they have those, then just take a nap because it's like your head is tired, like your brain is tired.
Yeah, but it took 60 minutes to press all the buttons. They asked yes and no questions, and you had
Oh,
to focus for 60 minutes. It was really long.
that is a lot. That's a lot of focus, you know?
And then there was a 2 hour questionnaire after that.
Oh,
But I gave my penny for science, I guess.
yeah, you did. You're helping out science.
Yeah,
That's so...
yeah, it was cool. I have a question.
Yes, of course.
I'm really tired all the time, and the doctors haven't found anything wrong with me, and I'm not depressed at the moment. So, any thoughts on what it could be? How to combat it?
Have you gotten a physical recently?
Oh, yes. They
Okay.
just ruled out acromegaly, actually.
Okay. Because I always
That's
wondered
when you keep
iron.
growing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really rare, but I didn't have that.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, have my clients get like their blood work done to check out like their iron levels, the function of their kidneys and liver, because that can make us really
Yeah, those are all okay.
okay. Then I wonder, like, I know you said you don't feel depressed right now, but are you feeling good overall or no?
Well, when I'm not tired, I feel really great. But when I'm tired, I can't do anything. So I'm tired most of the time. So of course it gets me a bit down when I'm tired.
Can I mean, aside from obviously like depression and stuff, which you'd know if you had it, I would assume you'd feel, because even though it doesn't always present the same for everybody, we at least feel like sad and upset and just like hopeless. Um, Try something for me. Try increasing some of your like leafy green vegetables and go
Okay.
for a 30-minute walk 3 times a week. Because,
Well, I do that. I have 3 dogs.
oh, okay. So I wonder, I mean, and some people are saying like chronic fatigue maybe. I'd ask more questions from your doctor because as far as mental health is concerned, like we get tired because of depression or anxiety. That's why I wondered if you had any different symptoms because depression and anxiety for some reason they like hang out together. And so even though we may not feel depressed, we may still feel tired. Um, and so I would talk to your doctors more and see if they'll even pair you up with a dietitian because if it's not something that's physically wrong with you or it's a virus or anything like that, it could just be like maybe you're allergic to something that you're eating that we don't know. I've had that happen to some of my friends where they didn't realize they're allergic to dairy and that was what was making them feel sick all this time. Um,
Well, I'm lactose intolerant. I know that, but I don't
okay.
use dairy products with lactose in them. So, and I've seen a dietitian for 2 years, and she didn't figure anything out.
That's why I wonder about chronic fatigue. Has anybody talked about that with you at all?
Yes, I saw a specialist on that, and he said I probably don't have it since the medication for it didn't help me at all. It made me feel worse.
Oh, and how long has this been going on?
Since 2008,
Oh my
almost 10
God.
years.
Oh my God. Have you ever taken an antidepressant?
Yes, I take them all the time.
Oh. Hmm. I wonder, I mean, we have a lot of different Kenyans who have issues like this as well. And it can always be like, there's so many options. That's the thing. There's so many different viruses and bacterial infections. But as a mental health professional, I wouldn't say it's mental health related, but make sure that you are talking to them if you do start to feel depressed, because this is a long time to feel tired, especially when you're walking your dogs. You're doing all the things that, like, as a therapist, I'd have you do to try to boost your energy. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would talk to other doctors, see if you can get another opinion. I would, push them for some answers because I don't think it's mental health related. I'd assume it's something else going on altogether, you know? Like have you
Maybe,
a sleep plan?
but I still have anxiety and borderline. But
Oh,
I go to therapy once a week.
hmm. And it could be your medication then. If you're over medicated, I have a lot of clients who find antidepressants to make them more sleepy. But um,
I don't think this one does that. I think it's more like helps me.
okay, that's good. Okay, good. Well, at least we're moving in the right direction. But yeah, I would ask more questions because like a lot of the Kenyans are putting in the chat, like it could be your thyroid, could be Lyme's disease, could be a lot of iron. That's the one thing I always is like if I feel tired, my iron's usually low. Um,
Well, it's not, but yeah, I know. But a lot of things have been tested. My thyroid, my iron levels are fine. My kidneys are fine. My liver is fine. My thyroid is fine.
yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I wish I had an answer for you, but those are like the
Yeah, well,
common
I
things,
just thought I'd ask for your opinion.
Oh,
You seem
yeah.
like you know a lot on everything.
I mean, I do my best. I mean, I wonder if maybe if you felt like the medication did help a little bit, then maybe we need something else as well or an increased dose. I mean, that would be where I'd go if you were my client and we'd already, we've gotten everything checked out. If something is helping a little bit, I would look more into that and see if we can push that,
Yeah, yeah.
you know? Because maybe that's doing something that,
I am quite stressed, so it might be stress related,
yeah,
but I'm not sure.
yeah, it definitely could be. But yeah, I talked to them about the medication that helped you and see if there's other ways to, if you could have a higher dose, if they think that's appropriate, or if there's something else they could.
I know it's not possible because it's already on the maximum dose.
Oh, gotcha. Well, sometimes there's other medications they can add to it to make it work better. And then the last thing I would ask is like, have you gone to a sleep clinic to make sure you are actually getting REM sleep when you do sleep?
No, that would be helpful.
Yeah.
But I don't think I have sleep apnea either.
Okay. But not everybody has sleep apnea. Some people just don't. Like some people have night terrors they don't realize they're waking up from. There could be a lot of different things. So that would be the last thing that I would look into, you know?
Yeah, okay, that's helpful. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
As you can see, I can barely keep my eyes open, but I can still see you.
Yeah.
Um,
For being on
I
and keep us
sleep
posted.
for 13 hours a day at least. Sometimes I sleep for 20 hours a day.
Wow. Yeah. It sounds like chronic fatigue to me, but there's so many things that could be going on. So, yeah, see about the sleep clinic and then keep us posted, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh, of course. Good to see
Love
you.
you. Bye bye.
Bye. That's so tough. And I don't want any of you to lose hope. We don't always have just like quick answers for things. A lot of times we have to ask more questions. We have to see more specialists and stuff like that. Thanks, Emily. And Dawson, hi, just sent me a message, says hi. And he had asked, Dawson, you asked what the 2* means. The star, I don't know what the 2 is. Do you guys know what that means? The numbers? I know that the star means, like, I think it's a certain level of a fan, isn't it? Do you guys know what that means? It's all within the YouNow like system. I think you level up. Like in my little profile, it says like I'm level 61, whatever that means. And I don't know if that, yeah, it's levels. Okay, yeah, it's your level. The number is your level, Dawson. So you're level 2. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, thank you guys. I thought so. Oh yeah, and alfalfa hypersomnia. That's definitely something. Is it Syrian? I think that's how. I don't know if I said that correctly. But anyways, that's the. Oh yeah, awkward strawberries level 5. Hey, hey, hey. Thanks, Ronnie. Woo, woo, woo. But yeah, just asking more questions I think is important when we're seeing different professionals and we have an issue that's been going on for years. Is like trying to get different. Different takes on it. Rosie Pixie, you watch Steven Universe like I do. I see Stevani as your avatar, I think, if I remember correctly. I watched all the seasons, you guys, of Steven Universe. And I have to say, I love it. I love it hardcore. And I'll have some collab videos coming out about that, so stay tuned. But oh my god, such a favorite. I've watched all the seasons. I can't wait for season 7. Anybody else? I'm waiting, even though I know it just came out, but it's so great. So anyways, okay, let's see. I know that someone had a good question that I'd asked them to repeat. Does anybody remember what that is? Hopefully, Melita, yeah, we can try to guess you next. I said I'm going to try to guess more people, so I said at least like 4 to 5, and we've already done one. Okay, Allie B says, how to find purpose when you're feeling hopeless. I often find this to be helpful. Let me know, Allie, if this is just bullshit, and you're like, I don't like it. I find it to be helpful. Oh, you guys, coming in hot. Who's coming in hot? Ava's coming in hot today. Woo, 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 woo. Woo, 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 woo. Ava, we love you. We love you so hard. Yay, yay, yay! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Woo, woo, woo. I like how it even like sputters, like we're watching like some feed that's not quite coming through. Yay, 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 yay. I know, we love you. That's so cute. Thank you, Ava. So I think oh yes, it was Loopy Lucy. Okay. It was something like that. I'm gonna copy this so then I can save it in my chat here for the question for later. Okay, cool. I just had come up with a new tool since Sean isn't here. Okay, so, oh, that's what it was. Yep. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, Rachel. Let's get rid of this. Sorry, you guys. I don't have a I don't have anybody to help me. It's just me. Thanks, Ava. Woo woo. Bonjour. Bonjour, savvy sketches. Hey, hey. Okay, so to answer Allie's question, I find for my clients when they're feeling really hopeless and they don't feel like there's any purpose or any reason, like why would I keep even doing this? Something that helps them, and you can let me know if this is garbage, something that helps them is making a list of the things that they want to do in their life. And this doesn't mean like accomplishments or money made or buy a house. I mean, those things can go on your list, but I think it's more important for them to be like emotional things. Like, for instance, I could give you some of mine just to get you started on the idea. For me, I would really, really like to see Italy with Sean and eat pasta and drink wine and sit out. That was like a dream of mine. That would be like a goal, like something I'd really love to do. I also would love to do a tour and meet all of you. And that's a big goal that I have for myself in general, something that I really want to have happen. I'm trying to think of other things that I want to do. I also would like to learn French better so that when I go to Montreal, I can speak more with Sean's family, because there are some portions of the family that prefer to speak French. There's a lot of different things I want to do, but I can, put those things, like if it was before I'd met Sean or something, it'd be like, meet someone that cares about me and loves me and sees me for who I am. You can come up with different things. And the list is so long it makes it worse sometimes. Okay, well, if that makes it worse, then something that I find to be helpful is to do one thing today that brings you joy. So we break it down so it's not like making a list to make us feel better, because it can make us feel worse. I totally get that. But do one thing today that makes you feel joy. But then the thing about it is once you start feeling good, like, okay, I love when I get to do blank. We do that thing. And then I want you to let yourself feel it and accept that feeling, because often I find hopeless is like a black hole for anything positive, because we try to have something positive happens and it's like, no, you don't deserve it, you're a piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. And it like sucks all the life and the joy out of it. But if we let ourselves feel it, we do one thing. Yay, Allie, well, you're here. Feel the joy. Enjoy it. Let yourself absorb it as best you can. And if you want to live stream after, because that also is a nice thing, do that. And so that's kind of what I would encourage you to do, is like, because we might not be able to find hope. Sometimes hope is hard to come by. Thank you, Dawson E. Woo woo. But then if we can't find the hope, we can at least find a little bit of joy. And so let yourself do that. And if you are feeling terrible and nothing seems to work and you can't do any of the techniques that I've talked about over the years, that's when medication can be helpful. And I know a lot of people don't want to be on medication, but that's what really helps with depression, when it's just like we're drowning in it. We can't even see. It's so dark and cloudy. You get what I'm saying? So that would be kind of my advice on that. Okay. So the question that I wanted to answer says, Katie, what do you do when a client does not want to follow your advice? Now this is interesting, because I offer up tips and tricks and things for them to do. Thank you, Jade. Is it Jaden? It looks like Jaden Kenrich. Thank you. Woo, woo, woo. My woo whoops. And he got woo, 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 woo. I've got plenty where that came from. So thanks, Kayla Cornfield. Yay. I think that I can only help people so much. Like in a lot of videos, and I know some people get hurt by this, but it's not meant to be hurtful. It's more about like boundaries and getting what you need out of therapy and what's best for your like progress moving forward and your growth. Is that I'm going to offer up tips and tools and things to try. A lot of my clients don't do any of that. And they come back the next week and they forgot their whole list. They didn't do any of it, and they don't want to use any of my tools. And frankly, they're probably annoyed seeing me. They're sick of it. And that's totally normal, because it's all their process. Oh, Rachel Ray is a subscribe. Oh, I hooked on got hooked on a cord. My camera cord. I'd say welcome to the family, but you've been a member of the family forever. And so anyways, and baby 2323, I do not charge for this service at all. This is just us hanging out. Hey, Trapped in Silence. As a therapist, I charge when my clients see me, but that's all I really charge for. Sorry, Melita, I know, headphones. Sorry. But when it comes to patients following my advice, I don't give a ton of advice, because I don't know best. They know best, because they know their experience. I offer tools and tips and tricks. Many don't do that. And if that continues to happen, over and over and over, where I'm trying to offer tools, I'm trying to offer support, and I'm hitting like roadblock. They're not doing it. They don't want to. They don't want to be involved. They're like, stop. If that continues to happen, there will come a time. Ooh, hot lava. Who's coming in hot? You guys take your headphones out. Woo. Jamie's coming in hot on this Wednesday. Yay. Woo. We love you, Jamie. Thank you. Woo. Hey. Ooh, Flo even gave you a little hashtag and some praise hands. I was going to do praise hands all the way up, but you can't see them, so it has to be like this. Thanks, Jamie. Good to see you. But if that keeps continuing on, so back to my original thing of like, if clients don't take my advice and they don't do anything that I asked of them, then, oh, Kayla, thank you. At some point, I'm going to refer them out, because there's two things. Number one, they might need a higher level of care, because if what I'm offering up for them isn't enough and we keep getting worse and worse and I can't help them, I just can't help them. And then I don't want them paying me money to do essentially nothing. And so I've done that many times where I have to refer out. Then the second thing is that I might refer them to a different type of therapist, or tell them to take a break until they're ready. Because oftentimes if you're seeing someone and you're not wanting to do any of the work or not able, I would already have referred you to a psychiatrist to see if that could help, but then I might just, make you see somebody else, or wait until you're ready, because you might just not be ready yet. So that's kind of where I come from with that. Okay. Let's see. Next question. Oh, you had a therapist that did that, Lauren? Yeah, because sometimes you're just not ready, and that's okay. Like, it's all different. Oh yeah, and whole C, I got funding to caption 300 of my videos. I won a grant to help caption for those of you who are hearing impaired or hard of hearing in any way. I'm going to get to caption 300 of my most popular videos that haven't been captioned yet. And so that is a really, really cool thing. And I'm hopeful that we can continue to do more. I caption all of mine now, but to go back and do the backlog would cost like thousands of dollars that I just don't have. And so it was a really, really great, grant to get. So I'm super excited. Okay, Alphalba says, related question, how to deal with an intaker that you do not like and don't really trust. Advice appointment coming Friday. What's an intaker? Is that like the first person is that the first person that you see to like refer you out? Because you should really, oh, thanks you guys. I'm excited. It's really, really cool. It's really great. And I'm glad that, okay, yes, it's a big mental health system. So for those of you who don't know, in big mental health systems, often you go through an intake person who does your intake, asks your family history, all of that stuff, in order to properly refer you and place you with someone else. And my best advice for this is, if you're able, just ignore that you don't like them and that you don't trust them. This is the person who's going to get you the help that you need. And so I would try to see it like that. I know it's going to be hard. I know we're not going to want to do it. But if you can mentally prepare yourself and be like, this is the person that I have to tell, because this is the person that's going to get me in. And so this is all I got. This is just what I got to do. Also bringing a person to support you and practicing what you want to say. That might be helpful too. Because we don't really have an option to not see them. Unless you do, and you can ask for someone else, because if that's the case, ask for someone else. But otherwise, we're just going to have to push through. So practicing ahead of time can be super helpful. And also just mentally being like, it doesn't matter. This is the gatekeeper. This is the person I got to get through. So I'm just going to get through this. Because it's just one appointment to get you in to see someone who's a much, much better fit. Because I know that that's hard. Okay, and not really an option. So yeah, mentally preparing yourself for it, I think, will be best, with a lot of mantras, a lot of self-care, and, being kind with yourself about it, knowing that it's okay, that it's uncomfortable, that's normal, that's what you're supposed to feel, but I'm going to have to push through, I'm going to have to share anyways, because if I don't, I won't get the proper referral or the proper therapist to fit what I'm struggling with. So just do your best to be as honest as you can. Thanks, Ronnie. Woo, 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 woo. Okay, Amanda says, tips and advice is okay, but I have left therapists because they found something that says they get or has found a good balance with me. I'm confused, Amanda. Is it, number 32 already. Woo, woo, woo. Of course, Alfalba. I know that that's not like an easy answer, but what's the question again, Rachel? I don't really understand. So you've left therapists because they get too advicey. If a therapist is too preachy or telling you what to do too much, it's just not going to work. But I don't understand the second part of your question. If you want to, if you want to let me know more in the chat, that could be helpful, and I'd be happy to answer, but we'll move on until I hear from you. Okay, let's see. Minimalist Goss says, I have a new problem. As I'm getting better from depression and feeling happier, I'm hungry when I'm happy. Seriously, I don't have an eating disorder, but hungry equals happy. I think I would consider, well, also, I don't know, I have so many questions. First of all, when you're unhappy, does that mean you're not hungry at all and you don't eat very often? Because that's not healthy. Second of all, if you're worried about what you're eating and how much, work with a dietitian. Tell them you want to do the 3 meals and 3 snacks every day, and it kind of keeps you eating periodically so you don't get too hungry, you don't get too crazy full, but you keep your metabolism going, you keep your body healthy and strong. You can kind of work with them on that. And that would be kind of my advice, because I don't think being hungry is a bad thing, but I think binge eating is a bad thing, and I think not eating enough, and when we're hungry, not giving our body the food it needs, all of that isn't good. But listen to your body. Do a check-in. The intuitive eating workbook is fucking amazing. I wish I'd written it myself, because it's just so amazing. I'd be so proud if I was them. And they tell you, like, on a 0 to 10, like, hunger scale, when you, when you are, like, too hungry, too full, all of that stuff. Okay. Let's see. Did I say a name? Did I say something wrong? You're confused? Oh, it was Minimalist Goth's question. Did I say Rachel or Amanda? No, Amanda cut off, and I was waiting for Amanda to send the rest of her message, because no, you didn't say anything. It was Minimalist Goth. It was her question. And then, I said Rachel instead of Amanda. Sorry. Amanda sent through a message and it got cut off. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I said Rachel. My bad. Okay. And I don't know why it cut it off, but I still don't see it in here, Amanda. And it might have been, the thing about it with the chat rolling is sometimes I read someone else's name when I'm reading another thing. Okay. So she says, but my current therapist has found a good balance between preachiness and advice. And and I missed a thing going across. I'm sorry. Thanks, Jamie. Woo, woo, woo. And that's good. It's good to find a balance. Like, I think for everyone it's going to be different. Some of us need more guidance and more like tough love and get to the point with our therapist. And others of us need someone to be more soft and listen and not tell us what to do so much as just support us in general. Sorry, I got to move this down. I bumped it. And so I would encourage you to notice that and see what the right fit is for you. I think that that's all very... it's why it works out. It's why the relationship and therapy is so, so important. Ronnie, I know it does get better. It always does. You guys always brighten my day. That's why I knew if I just got out of that meeting and got home, I was like, and then I get to hang out. But I'm sorry it was an hour late. It was just because everything was running late. It's like I got there and, of course. Yes, that's what I did. Thanks. Of course, Minimalist Goth. I'm glad it was helpful. And so, yeah, and you can type your question into the chat, and I'm only one person, but I try to get through as many as I can. Yeah, so that's what we do. Okay, let's check in on Melita, see how she's doing. Since we have to guess a few more people. And let's see how she's doing. Cine, that's a great question. My therapist says I'm addicted to praise. What does that mean? Hi. Do you hear me?
That sounded
Are we
weird.
there? Hello?
Okay, can you hear me?
I hear you a little bit. Yeah? It's
Okay.
cutting out a lot.
Because I didn't know if you were... Oh, yeah, there's a big sound in the background, so it makes like a lot of noise.
Oh, is it still going on? Do you hear me? I just turned the speaker to... Hello? Are you there?
Hold on. Let me get my headphones.
Okay.
Because I have 2 pairs.
Okay. See if that fixes it.
Okay.
And we'll see if we can hear you.
Is that better? Okay, is that
okay.
better?
I can hear you. Yeah, what's up? It's like, it's
Alright.
cutting out a little bit. Well,
So,
hopefully it'll hold on.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. Do you hear me?
You hear me, so that's good.
Hello?
I just can't hear you.
You can't hear me. Melita, are you there? Hello? Hello? Are you there? Oh. Oh. I know we could hear you, Melita. I don't know why you couldn't hear me. I'm so sorry. What? I don't know what happened. If you get closer to your router, your computer, your internet hub, then we can try again and hopefully it will connect and it won't be so glitchy. And then hopefully you can hear me. Okay? We'll try again. Don't lose hope. We shall try. I know, technical difficulties, right? Okay. Ava asks, how can an overweight former eating disorder sufferer, for example, anorexia, lose weight without slipping right back? I was always wondering. The truth is, please don't try to diet. Please don't try to lose weight. I find, just hear me out before all your eating disorders or all that gets really mad at me or all you get angry, is, you can't trust it. We really can't diet. We can treat our bodies better because oftentimes I find eating disorders are sneaky and they go from like us not eating to like then us binge eating and not really realizing we're doing it, but we're not listening to our hunger fullness cues. And so what I would encourage you to do, if you have the ability to, is to work with a dietitian, put together a meal plan. Again, even though I know we're recovered and we're feeling good, we're going to have to get back to treating our bodies well. I was just talking to a woman today at my meeting who has, she was like a professional skier for a long time. And so her body, she has like a lot of different, broken bones and pulled muscles. She has a lot of different injuries over the years. That's the word I'm looking for. And I was like, something that yoga has taught me, and the reason I've stuck with yoga is because it puts our body in perspective where we're doing what feels good for our body. Our body gains nothing, by the way. Just hear me out. Our body gains nothing by telling us it's hungry when it's not, or it's full when it's not, or it's hurting. It gains nothing from that. But our head and our eating disorder gain a lot. And so we have to pay attention to all of that. We have to listen because our body doesn't get anything out of it, doesn't lie to us. So what we have to do is we have to tap back into it, because that's what eating disorders and, a lot of like competitive sports does to us. Is it's like no pain, no gain. You're not hungry. It's lying to you. Go run and do this other thing. We take away the power that our body has. And sooner or later, as you all have known, different experiences, it'll tell us. Like, I pulled a muscle in my arm because I was reaching and pulling something too heavy out of a trunk. And my body was like, you should probably ask Sean to help you. But I was like, I got this. I work out. I can handle it. No, I hurt myself. And so our body gets nothing from it. So just think about that for a second. And then remember I did that video with Nikki Philippi, and she had the best thing to say, because she has a ton of injuries. She's had a really tough relationship with her body over the years. And she was like, you know what? At one point I just had to say, I'm going to meet myself where I'm at. And I think we all can use a little bit of that, myself included. I need to meet myself where I'm at. It doesn't matter how big my butt is, or how small it is, or how flat my stomach is, or how roly-poly it is, how big my boobs are, how tall I am, how not flabby or flabby my arms are. None of that matters. I need to meet myself where I'm at. I'm the person I am right now. I'm the body that I am right now. And I should be fucking grateful. I'm breathing. I can see you. I know I talk about this all the time, but I think it's really important for us to recognize what our body does for us each and every day and show it a little love. Listen to it. Instead of thinking that we have to look a certain way or act a certain way or be a certain way, we can instead just be grateful that we have the body. And even though we abuse it almost every day, it's still here and we're still able to get up and do the things that need to get done. Whatever abilities we have, we're able to do those things. And so I would encourage you, Ava, instead of focusing on the fact that you feel like you need to lose weight, because I don't know where those thoughts are coming from. I don't know if a doctor's told you that, but I think instead of doing that, we focus on all that our body gives us and we work to heal the relationship with our body and do things that feel good to it. Because in the end, our body's going to end up in the shape, form, whatever that it's supposed to be. Because back to my original thing, it doesn't get anything out of lying to us. Our body doesn't have any thoughts about that. It just knows what it needs. And so it's only going to ask you for that. And so I'd encourage you to consider hunger fullness cues. Consider how well-rounded of a diet you're getting. What are the things your body's craving? Are you giving it what it asks for? And start paying attention to that. Start, tapping back into that. Because I think that could really help. So those are my thoughts on that. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah, of course, Ava. She's like, it's not about me. It's things I hear from people a lot. And totally. Okay, Katie Lane says, when your eating disorder clients first start working on that, are they ready to? Does ready exist? You can't tell if I'm not ready or if this is just what it feels like. I think that no one's ready. Many of my clients, especially eating disorder clients, come to me when they need a higher level of care. That's usually the first thing, because most of my clients, when they finally reach out for help for an eating disorder, it's because things are like bad. Eating disorders always tell us we can push harder, we can do more, no one really cares. Thanks, Jamie. Woo, woo, woo. All of this stuff. And so we have to like recognize that we can't. And once we do that, it's our first like fight against eating disorder, where we're like, hey, this isn't, no, we argue. We're like, I can't do all this. You keep telling me I can do more, but I am exhausted. Or I passed out the other day and that was frightening. Or you know what? I'm sick of feeling so full I want to throw up. Like I just can't do it anymore. And so by the time we reach that point, when my clients come to see me, that's usually when they're really at the end of their rope. But when it comes to like getting ready, I think the only thing that's required for us to be quote unquote ready for this help is to know that we don't like how it is. That's all. That's all I tell my clients is like, I don't need you to feel like you can do it all and you don't want to have an eating disorder anymore and you're ready for recovery, because the truth is that might not happen right away. What will happen is knowing that we just don't like how things are. We feel like shit with the way it is. And that's all it really takes. Okay? Okay. Yeah, exactly, Cine. When you're sick of feeling bad, then you're ready. And that is the truth. Okay, Jen says, if a client requests records, can anything be withheld? Definitely. If you request a full set of records, oh good, Bins, I love that. If you request a full set of records to go to another professional, meaning I'm not sending it to your house or to you in any fashion, I am sending it directly to your next therapist or your doctor, whomever you're wanting me to send your full records to, then legitimately you get everything I've got. I copy, scan, or just email, depending on how they keep the records. A lot of people do electronic records. I'm old school. I still write it down. So sue me. But you'll get it all because it's not essentially being sent to you. It's sent to someone else. If you as a client request records, I usually, I've never had a client want them, by the way. I'm just going to throw that out there. Most people don't want their own records. I don't want my own records. I don't need to see all the stuff my therapist thought. It'll just make me feel more crazy or want to analyze myself more. And so if you're asking them for yourself, they'll usually ask for specifics. Like, is there a certain issue that you're curious about or a certain group of sessions? Because it's the best advice I can give you is you don't want your records. I would send them off to another professional because you don't need all that information, because a lot of it can be really hurtful and damaging to you. And I don't mean that to say there's all these secrets. They're going to be, you need to know. I find it's our intensely, deeply emotional struggles and issues written in a clinical format, which, for example, means, let's say, I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm just going to be this is like real talk with Katie. Ding. If you had sexual abuse in your past, just going to throw that out there as an option, as the storyline, okay? And then you read your clinical notes about this, is that it would say something to the effect of, client told me about sexual abuse in past, went on for X amount of years, struggles with relationships because of this, also goes into childlike conversation at times, reverting back to past self, need to work on trauma to heal past wounds, also sexuality is a question. That would be what it'd look like. And I know and there's a lot more to it, but just understand that things that feel very personal and very hurtful to you are written out in a format that's not very warm and it's not very understanding. And there's not a lot of detail. It's get to the point. And And yeah, and that's really it. So I don't think it's good. And then the last level, so if you ask for everything, we're going to try to narrow it down so that we're not sending you all of it. But then if you persist and you want all of it, I, as a clinician, have the right, and I know this is crazy, I have the right to just give you a summary because I don't think the whole record will be good for you. Oh, bye, Dawson has to drive somewhere for work. Thanks for hanging out. It was so nice to have you on. And so that's kind of how that works. And so I hope that that helps make a little bit more sense, because we'll provide like the summary so you get the main points, but without getting all the random details that I find to be do more harm than good. Okay. Okay, Melita says, I wrote my therapist today because I was triggered and got a generic response, so now I want to quit. Why even try? Texting, because you wrote, I'm assuming texting, is that what you mean, Melita? Because I find texting to be really difficult with clients. First of all, I don't do it. Only in emergencies or for scheduling. I never text back and forth about how they're feeling. Oh, bye, Danny. Have fun at choir. Oh, email. It's the same. I find email to be difficult because no therapist wants to get in like these huge email conversations with clients because it can take just as much time as a session. And so often we will shorten our response, get to the point, and say that we hope to see you next time and we can't wait to like work this out. And so I'd give your therapist the benefit of the doubt and know that, yes, you are having a hard time, but you have all these resources, right? You have me, you have your tools and your tips and all the things. Use those, go in and make mention of it. Say it felt really invalidating, I was upset and I was triggered, and this is what I was looking for from you, so that she knows what you felt and why, and what you were wanting from her, so there's some sort of expectation, because I don't know if she knew what you were expecting from her or if she knew it was as big of a deal as maybe it felt like for you. She wanted your poems. She wanted my poems and I got that, so I'm canceling. I don't understand. That's okay. Give her another chance, Melita. I'm just throwing it out there that I think maybe one more session could be helpful, because it may not have felt like a generic response from her. She may have legitimately thought that and not thought that it would be hurtful. And when we just shut down and cut people out, we kind of sometimes need to, oh, okay, she asked you to send the stuff that you sent me, and I did. Talk to her one more time. If you go into session and you explain like how this happened and you felt invalidated and you expected a little bit more and not such a generic response, you can talk it out. It's a really great opportunity for you to express your hurt. I think we all struggle with this, and it's something that therapy can be so beneficial. It's why therapy can be so beneficial, is because it gives us the place to finally express the hurt, to get it out and to say it to someone, and feel heard and validated, versus not giving them the chance to make it right, and then we walk away feeling even worse. So I just, that would be my advice for that. Thank you, Lydia. But you have to do it in person, Melita. We can't do it through email. We have to do it in person. It's good practice. And I know it was hard to send. I totally understand. It's just that I want you to give yourself the chance so that maybe, just maybe, it might be a misunderstanding. She might apologize and you might feel so much better. If we cut off and we don't give that chance and give her that chance and give you that chance, then it'll just feel bad like it feels now. And I think it could turn around. I'm just saying, just hang in there with me. Give it one more go, okay? Don't cancel. Go. Trust me, okay? Oh, you have thought on sharing poetry, but can't type it all? I know, but start with one thing. You could try one. Oh, Lydia just won 100 likes. Lucky day. Okay, let's see. Oh, thanks, Billy. And I read all of your guys' letters. That just reminded me because I saw Billy's name. I read all of your letters, and I always read all of your stuff. And for those of you who were worried, somebody left a comment like, please don't ever stop. Thanks, Becky P. Yay. I did get some mail also. So I can open my mail. I'll open it in like 10 minutes. Cool? I always read all the comments still. Somebody was like, if you're not approving them, then are you not even going to be in them? Are you not going to say anything? I always still chat with you. Don't worry. I didn't run away. I'm just not approving all the comments from like the millions of videos that I've already put out. It was a lot of work. Thank you, Flo. Woo. Okay. Shashari's here. Hey. Okay, let's see. Somebody said Cine's question was a good one. I'm trying to find it. Okay. Okay. My therapist says, I'm addicted to praise. Okay. Cine says, my therapist says I'm addicted to praise. What does that mean? It means that we're always looking for outside validation. We all crave it. Let's be real. We all need outside advice and praise and people validating us and telling us we're amazing. We need affirmations. We're humans. It's okay. We all feel that way. Don't feel bad. It's normal. But being addicted to it means that we often, and I don't know, Cine, because I'm just extrapolating. I'm just like hypothesizing with you. I would assume, thanks Kayla, I would assume that she said this because my worry as a therapist, if I said this to a client, would be that you don't have any inside validation. You don't have any nice voice inside you that's saying, you're amazing. I love you. You tried so hard. This is so wonderful. We're missing that. And so that's why we're addicted to the outside praise, because we don't have any internal. And so what my work with you would be was to increase that internal voice and increase that loving, you got this. Don't worry, they don't know you, and that's okay, and we're going to get through this, and all those things that we tell ourselves to make ourselves feel better. I think that, extrapolating with Katie, you like that word, Carly? And so I think, we need to have that internal one, because we can't count on other people to do things. We don't know what other people are going to do. We don't know what other people are going to say. We can't expect it or depend on it. We have to depend on ourselves for, that emotional, fulfillment, I guess, for lack of a better term. And so that's probably what she meant. I hope that you like that. Yeah, it's like building confidence. Exactly, Life Dream. It's like we have to have some of that confidence for ourselves. We can't expect others to do it for us. And so that's why she probably said that. Okay. Yes, Dora, good question. Do therapists avoid diagnosing clients if it's not super necessary? Totally. I definitely don't give a diagnosis unless it's required through insurance, or if a client asks for it, because sometimes I'll write something in my notes and note this and possibly this and blah 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 blah. But I think that why give someone a label if you don't need to? Because truly, I know that diagnoses can be really validating and it gives us a word to describe how we feel. Thank you, Ronnie. Woo woo. But it can also make us feel like that is all that we are. That defines us, or we're limited by that. And so I often don't give diagnoses unless I think it's completely 100% necessary, because it can feel so stigmatizing still. And I don't want my clients to feel that way. I want them to feel empowered with their ability to help themselves. And so, yeah, those are just kind of my thoughts. Yeah, exactly, Sadie. I don't want to think of myself as a disorder either. Nobody does. Oh, yay. Thanks for coming, Trapped in Silence. Blah, blah. Thanks for coming, Trapped in Silence. I'm glad you were able to hang out with us. Okay, let's see. Let's read a few more, and then I'm going to open. Ooh, Caitlin is a new subscriber. Take those headphones out. Are you ready? Woo! Welcome to the family. Thanks, Ava. Yay, yay, yay. Jeffrey, what is a good short definition of BPD? It's like being an emotional burn victim. Everything feels like so much, and that's why, some people can say that we lash out or we're loud or whatever. It's because it feels so hurtful. Everything feels so much. All of our emotions are really heightened, just like our senses, That's what I would say. I hope that's the shortest definition, Oh, Chelsea L has a question. I'll try to find it. And Kaido No asked that I just love your name, Kai. It's so funny. I just really like it. Okay. Yes, Amy, I am in a dress. And Kai says, can BPD and bipolar coexist? Yes. They definitely can, but they have to. I have that video about what the difference is between the two, and so we have to make sure that the bipolar itself is episodic, and then the BPD is more pervasive and hanging out longer. And so, yes, you can have both. Yeah, Flo says I have both, and a lot of people do. And so I think that I know Sheep is on the links, man. Sheep is quick. pew, pew. But magic. I know, right? But anyways, I think that that's how we have to diagnose. We have to be really careful and make sure that it's that they both exist. Okay? Let's see. Oh, Lauren wants to guess. Chelsea L wants to guess. I know Sheep is a machine. Okay, let's open some mail because I got something that was like, please do not bend. This is from Marcel. Hey, Knit Jester in the house. Woo, 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 woo. I know, I'm sure, Flo. This is a fun roller coaster, that one. It can be difficult. Okay, let's see. Oh, John Doe. I've heard that from people that Trisha Paytas has it, and I don't know enough about her. Obviously, I'm not her therapist. Surprise. I don't know if she's seen a therapist. Maybe she should. Oh, you guys. Oh, I dropped a bunch of stuff. Look how pretty. Oh, my God. Okay. Marcel, I don't want to read your letter because I think it's very private, but look how pretty. Can you see? Can you see it? Look. It says, be who you are and say what you feel because those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind. I love it. Saying someone can't be sad because someone else may have it worse is just like saying someone can't be happy because someone else may have it better. I love it. Do you guys see? Isn't that pretty? Look at this. Dare to dream big. Let your dreams become your goals. Wow. Marcel, you are so talented. And I think I'm saying your name right. I hope so. It looks like Marcel. But if I'm not saying it right, I apologize. Wow. You guys. Oh, I'm dropping things. Look, it's like, can you see? It's like gold. It's gold. Gold. So pretty. This one's shiny too. It's like teal. You see it? These are so pretty. Thank you, Marcel. These are beautiful. Okay, gotta lay them flat there. Okay, and I know Jin had asked many, many times. I don't know if they drew them or if they just colored them in, but they definitely drew over all of those teeny lines. Now, Jen had asked if I got their letter, and I said no because I had not, but it just came, and let's see. I think it might just be a letter for me, but I don't want to read anything too personal, just in case. Yes, there are a bunch of little letters. So, Jen, I did get your mail. Don't worry. I don't know if Jen is on right now, but also this is from Zena. Zena, I got your letter as well. Oh, it's a thank you card. Look how pretty. Oh, thank you, thank you. Okay, I'll read those later, but those are the things that I got in the mail. Got one from blah, 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 blah. Got one from Marcel, Jin, and Zena. So thank you all. You guys, sorry, I really just couldn't speak there for a minute. I know, it's so shiny. I love it. Okay, Lydia says, what's my favorite ice cream flavor? To be truthful, not to be a total bore. But, well, okay. Actually, I have quite a few. Initially, my fave is a vanilla. Like, if there's chocolate, vanilla, or twist, I'm always going to go vanilla. I know people have their own thoughts about that. Like, why would you not like chocolate? I just prefer my ice cream to be vanilla. But if we have, like, a plethora of flavors, my next go-to, my favorite place, every summer as a kid, we used to go to Seaside, Oregon, and stay on the boardwalk. And it was like all the women in my family would go. So there were tons of us. And I would always get New York blueberry cheesecake in a waffle cone. And OMG, it's amazing. So that is my personal favorite. Yeah, but I don't discriminate when it comes to cookies, because I read cookies and cream. But when it comes to ice cream, all ice cream is good. Okay, yeah, mint is good. I don't know what my Myers-Briggs is. I did it so long ago, and then I tried to do it again and tried to write it down, and then I forgot what it was. I'm sorry. But I don't really put much stock in that. Just gotta throw that out there. I know a lot of people do. I do not. It can help you learn a little bit about yourself, but it's such like boxes. It's like, well, I'm either introvert or extrovert. What if I'm a little bit of both? I'm either, I don't really love it. Okay, let's see. Ooh, Fatima's got 8 cats. It clearly says Fatima has 8 cats. That is her username. Okay, let's see. Carly says, Anika, you can still have you still like ice cream even if you're lactose intolerant. One of my favorite like non-lactosey brands is the So Delicious. Super tasty. They have like a brownie one. Oh, so good. Okay, Carly says, can everything feel like so much with PTSD, like BPD features? Angela said, I don't have BPD, but I'm still like, are you sure? LOL. I know. I'm sure you are. And yes, PTSD and BPD have a lot of the same features and get misdiagnosed all the time. And that's why I think people don't end up feeling better, because there are different treatments for different ailments. And so, yes, especially complex PTSD, if we've had repeated, oh, Emma, we got a new subscriber. You guys ready? Pull your headphones out. Woo! Welcome to the family, Emma. Yay, yay, yay. I am 5'7", Joey Baseball. I had a lady today when I walked in be like, wow, you're a lot taller than I thought. I'm like, I'm not even that tall, but whatever. Anyways, let's see. What was I saying? Oh, so yes, PTSD and BPD can be misdiagnosed. And I think a lot of times people are afraid, people being therapists and clinicians and other professionals, I think they're afraid to ask about trauma. I think that's where that comes from. I think that's why people don't get diagnosed properly. Because yes, we can have trauma and have BPD. I'm not saying that one doesn't happen without the other or vice versa, but I'm saying people are afraid to ask, and ask when the symptoms started, and ask about it. Like, just be open, because then I think that a lot of the people who think they have borderline personality disorder will really just learn that they have PTSD, and the trauma just needs to be talked about and they need to reprocess it. And surprise, surprise, those BPD symptoms that we quote unquote had will go away. So that is the, you like my earphone warning, Emily? I'm trying to get better. Thanks, Ronnie. Woo, woo, woo. Okay. Let's see. Richard says, Katie, I did inpatient, residential, and PHP for 60 days. Hooray! I don't know I'm fully recovered. I'm in IOP right now. I'm just worried. It's normal to be worried, especially when you're titrating down out of treatment. Know that there's no expectation for you to be fully recovered by the time you get out of your day programs and into outpatient. The main goal is for you to know what your triggers are, to have better coping skills, and just a better understanding of where this came from and what started this in the beginning. And so I think it's really important that we pay attention to that and focus on that versus being like, I have to be 100% recovered, because like I always say, recovery is a process, it's not perfection. We can be going great and doing great, and then something super stressful happens and we find ourselves using old coping skills. And that doesn't mean that all is lost. That doesn't mean that we're back at square one or we're not recovered. That just means that we had a tough time and we tripped up. And so I would focus more on what you're learning about yourself and your own issues and where they came from, so that when things do happen, we have the tools, we have the knowledge, and we can keep moving forward. Okay. Jenny says, I am changing antidepressants and struggling. How do I get through the next few weeks? Use your tools, call your people, have extra appointments, do all the things that make you feel better while you're transitioning. Medication changes can fucking suck. It can be really hard. So give yourself the opportunity to with your best shot, and so having all your tools available, it's amazing. We might not have had DJ Sean, but I can hang, you know. Okay, let's see. Somebody asked what t-shirt size I wear. If it's like a slim fit, like lady t-shirt, I'm a medium, but if it's like a loose unisex, then I'm a small. Edward Shahab, am I saying that right? I think it's Edward, right? What does it mean to be asexual? From my understanding, you guys chime in if I'm completely off base, okay? Totally fine with being corrected. What I've learned about asexuality is that it's, because there's asexual and there's aromantics. Because asexual doesn't mean that we don't want to be with someone or that we can't like someone. It just means that we don't really want to have sex with anybody and we're not interested in sex. It's not something that sounds appealing to us, and it's not that we're repulsed by it, it's just not, we don't really care. Gender, it doesn't matter, it's just not there for us. But aromantics say that they don't have any romantic feelings about anyone. Am I getting this right? Yeah, little or no sexual attraction. Okay, cool. And some are repulsed. Sheep is right. Some are repulsed, but that doesn't necessarily mean that. It's always important to ask the person who identifies as whatever term, and ask them what it means to them, because everybody's going to have a different interpretation and their own experience of it. But aromantics, when we have no romantic experience, and also, sorry, this is getting confusing, not everybody breaks those up. Some people who call themselves asexual are also aromantic, meaning that they don't have romantic feelings for anybody, they have no interest in relationships like that. It's just not something that they want. And so that's kind of what it means. But like I said, everyone's going to be different. I would ask someone, if they say that that's what they identify as, ask them what they mean by that. And say, you know, I'm still learning. It's okay to learn. I think we run into problems when people assume and judge. And so I think if we don't do that, if we say, hey, I don't understand, could you explain that to me? I'm eager to learn and better understand where you're coming from. Then people would be more open to it, and then it helps build a relationship versus potentially tear one down. So I just think that that's kind of, yeah. Hopefully that didn't upset any of you and you feel like, it's not offensive. Yeah, and Taylor, you think it's you, but I don't know. And I think also, this is a good question too, wildflowers is going to be due to trauma. And this is something that not a lot of people talk about, but trauma, especially of the sexual nature, can affect us in our sexuality as a whole. And I think people are afraid to talk about this, because I'm not saying it turns someone gay or turns them asexual. I'm just saying that when we have a trauma, a sexual trauma, it can make us question who we are and what we're doing and what's happening and everything about ourselves. So it's only natural that since it was a sex-based trauma, that we would have questions, concerns about our sexuality. That's a very normal, you can see why that would happen. And so a lot of people, I believe, go into situations like this when they, when they have a trauma or they're finally trying to work through a trauma, all of a sudden they decide they don't want to have sex with anybody. Oftentimes my clients with binge eating disorder have a sexualized past where they try to make themselves like as least sexual. Oh, Isabella, hi, yay, yay, hey, yay, yay. Welcome to the family. I didn't do a warning for the cowbell, I'm sorry. New subscriber, I recognize that face. But anyways, I think that that's kind of where that comes from. I think seeking to understand someone and, letting them teach you is where we all need to come from when it comes to stuff like this, because I know everybody gets confused with all the LGBTQIA plus stuff. How do you know if a sexual trauma is asexual or the trauma then? I'm just saying that if it is based on the trauma, if we take the time and work through it, then those feelings that we had of asexuality, aromantics, would go away. But give yourself the time to question and to wonder and to work to heal yourself, because only when we're coming out of like a full sense of ourselves, feeling good about who we are and working on it, because we're all works in progress. It's not like we're going to be 100% perfect, but if we're coming out of that, then we can figure out what's best for us and make that decision. Or never make that decision and be questioning for a really long time, because no one says you have to have an answer. Just throwing that out there, okay? Amanda asks, why are PTSD and BPD misdiagnosed so much? Because they share a lot of the same symptoms. The difference is that PTSD will have a start. It'll have like a triggering event, and it'll be like something where we feared for our life. And then we'll have like hypervigilance, a lot of other things that go along with it. Whereas BPD is like pervasive. And it's they call it personality disorders just because it like runs through our whole life, where PTSD can, as weird as it sounds, can come and go. We've talked about this a lot. Like we can have like good days, and then we can have flashbacks where it like pulls us back and like ruins our entire day. We can be irritable and lash out at our loved ones. That's why it's just important to work with a therapist who gets you, who listens to you, who can help you better understand, what it is you are going through. So if we try to work through the trauma, do the symptoms go away or not? Those are some things to think about. Thanks, Emily. Woo, woo, woo. Melita says, I love you, but I might cancel. That's fine. I just, you know what I feel. I already told you what I think about it. Okay. Jamie says, what do you do if you find yourself losing interest in many things that you used to enjoy? We got to get you into therapy, Jamie. It sounds like the depression is coming back and it's getting worse. That's like the first sign when we're like, oh, I used to love to go out or to do these or go to concerts or events. And then all of a sudden we're like not wanting to leave the house and we don't want to see our friends and we're avoiding certain things. Please talk to someone, because you're not alone. Depression's a real thing. It's palpable. We feel it, right? But the sooner we reach out, the sooner we get help, the better. And I didn't make it, I know. Yes, Anhedonia. Lauren for the win. Thanks, Queen Marine. Woo! And so that would be, I know, what I was going to say is I had to film with Hannah and I missed my journal group that I was telling you about, Jamie. And so I didn't get to ask about the medication thing, but it's still on a post-it. I'll still get to it, but it just might take me a little while. Allison C asks, can you ever overcome trauma? Of course you can. You can process through it. You know how I've talked about in my video with Dodie and in videos with Alexa, we talk about how things like break and splinter and fall over, and we're trying to put these marbles back together. Of course, Jamie, I hope that was helpful. So anyways, we have to put together what happened. Okay, as long as you'll try, Melita, that's all that's important. Oh, and Sheep just put the link in there. But anyways, we're trying to put that marble back together and then roll it away and file it away. And only until we pick up all those splinters, talk through all the details of the trauma, do we give our brain the chance to like process through it so that it doesn't continue to hold us up and to cause flashbacks and dissociation, all the things that come along with trauma. Only then can we finally heal from it and move on. So know that it can take time, but it does get better. And so just giving yourself the ability to like pick up all those pieces, and maybe we drop some, we have to pick them up again. It's all part of the process, but yes, you can heal from trauma. Okay. Yes, Sadie says, I know you can. It's hard, but it can be done. It totally can. Okay. Mia Ain't High asks, can you give advice on grad school for an MFT? Get in your own therapy. Also, don't take out too many student loans because I'm still paying for those. But overall, so those are my two main words of advice, just like life advice. The third one about school focused in general is don't get yourself pushed into a corner feeling like you can only do the thing you thought you wanted to do. Meaning, I went into grad school thinking, hey, I love developmental psych. For a long time, I thought I wanted to be a child psychiatrist, go to medical school, but I didn't like working with kids. My first job in grad school was with children, and I was like, oh, I don't like this at all. And then I completely, who would have thought I'd be an eating disorder specialist? That never was something that I was remotely interested in or thought that I would like. And so be open to all possibilities. Thanks, Ronnie. Be open to all possibilities and all areas of expertise, because that's when you'll find what you're best for and what your fit is and what you actually find the most rewarding. Okay. Andrea asked, Katie, is it possible to have night terrors and remember them? I wake up at night having what feels like a panic attack and I'm unsure of reality or if I'm safe. Panic attacks in your sleep are different than night terrors. Night terrors are when we go from, and I'm digging deep in my memory bank, but I think it's when we go from one sleep level to the next. I think it's like 3 to 4 or 2 to 3. There's levels of our sleep. Move from one to the next. It's like it wakes us up and we jolt, and we wake up usually screaming or feeling scared. But we won't know what it came from. Having flashbacks in your sleep are very common when we struggle with PTSD. And I don't call those night terrors. I know many therapists do. I've heard from you that a lot of people call them that. But the definition of night terrors are what I talked about in my video about them. What you're experiencing are flashbacks and or like panic attacks in your sleep, which can feel similarly like physically, but we always remember what they're about because they're about whatever that traumatizing or terrible event was. And so they will go away as we work through our trauma and we process through it with a therapist and talk, like I was talking about the marble, putting it together. And so once we're able to like roll that off and file it away, those will go away. Okay. Just hang with me. It sucks. Okay. Amanda says, well, I talk about transference. A few people in chat are curious. I have a whole video about it. It just came out a couple weeks ago. Watch it. I talk about it a lot. Oh, Damon, I'm glad you're back. Woo-woo. Okay, Ronnie says, I feel my progress is really slow. I usually dissociate most of the session. I'm disappointing my therapist. Does that happen? It totally does. But you know what I would do, Ronnie? This is just my advice. This is like therapy advice, I guess. You can take it or not take it. I would, instead of trying to talk through things and work through anything at all right now, I would tell your therapist, I'm struggling to stay present. And so what you're going to have to do is you're building up your resiliency. I'm doing this because like a muscle. We have to build up that resiliency zone and broaden it. So what that means is we need to have more grounding techniques, self-soothing techniques, calming, things to bring your system down. We need to work on those until those become so easy to do. It's like old hat, easy peasy, like a knee-jerk reaction. Because when we have all those tools, then we can get back into the processing and talking about it and stay present. Because that's the whole goal. Because if we're not staying present, we actually aren't able to, to process through anything. Of course, Flo, thank you for hanging out. And thanks for, yay. Thank you, Flo. Thanks for hanging out with us for so long. Okay. Richard says, I like being manic. Is it normal to want it to stay? It's totally normal. people, in my experience, it's the people with bipolar disorder aren't the ones that come in to see me. It's their family who calls, or that my bipolar patients only come in when they're depressed because then they feel like shit, not when they're manic. So normal, because we actually feel better. However, I think it's also important to remember that we can do a lot of like impulsive bad things for our life during that mania time. So keeping that in mind, hopefully will help you reach out sooner rather than later when you start feeling like elevated mood and talking really fast and you're not sleeping very well. Like reaching out to your team, like your therapist, psychiatrist, whomever, as soon as possible could really, really help you from making any kind of impulsive, you know, quote unquote bad for you decisions. Okay, Shashari says, how long do PTSD episodes last for? Like the hypervigilance and lashing out. Everybody's different. And the sooner we start working on it, the better. And so I think the sooner we start talking about it and start processing through it, the sooner those symptoms will go away. But until we do that, they can come and last for a while. I've had clients who've been that way for years. And obviously it comes and goes because we all have good days and bad days. But overall, I think start working with someone and it will get better. Okay, Shashari? Yeah, years. That's what Ali B says, years. I don't see Rachel's question, Carly. I don't see a question from her in here. Okay. Oh, I did see a question from... Oh, Rachel says, loss of interest in things always due to depression. And let me answer really quick. Haley said, what's the best part about Australia? Meeting all my Kenyans. I loved it. And also the Asian food, man. Those are my two favorite things. First, meeting the Kenyans. That was really cool. It was wonderful to go all the way over there because how else would we have met? Oh, so cool. So I had such a good time. And then the Asian food. So tasty. Rachel asks, if loss of interest in things always due to depression? No. Short answer, no. Sorry, I had to lean back for that and take a breath. No, because it can be due to grief. It can be due to PTSD. It can be due to, I think loss of interest is always due to some kind of mental health struggle, something that we're going through. And so if you find yourself not interested in what you used to be interested in, talk to somebody, because depression can be part of, like those symptoms can be a part of a lot of different diagnoses, like whether I said it's grief or PTSD or even our anxiety, right? Or dysthymia. A lot of people have low-grade depression for a really long time. We call that dysthymia. But I think it can be a part of a lot of things. Even a lot of my schizophrenic patients, I believe, have depression as part of it because if they have any awareness that they're schizophrenic, it's really hard for them. So yeah, so that's kind of where that's at. I hope that makes sense and helps. Okay, so Ryan, let's answer a few more questions because we're almost out of time, you guys. So Ryan says, how do you not let people being rude get to you? You know, it's taken me a while, and I'm just going to be honest about this because I still used to, is like saying it never happens, but I still sometimes get hurt by things people say or comments. I was even super offended about the Streamy and not even being invited to the party and then not getting nominated. That hurt my feelings, and I felt like people were being rude. I didn't like it. But more overt bullying or overt comments about me and stuff, I honestly don't let myself read them all the way through. If it starts off by like, well, she's a stupid, delete. I don't let my brain take in the information. I know that's specific to like my issue and like social media and people leaving comments, but I definitely just don't engage. I don't even let my brain absorb it, because that keeps me a little bit safer. But you know what I also say to myself is I'm like, man, they must have been having a real shit day. It sucks to be them. Because that's the truth. Like even somebody left a rude comment on my Instagram, and I don't think they meant it to be rude, but I was just like, why would you even say that? Why be hateful? You must be filled with hate. That must suck for you. And I know that's not like positive and it might sound like hurtful, but it's the only way it's worked for me to like cope with people being shitty. Because people will always be shitty. I don't have the ability to control that. You don't have the ability to control that either. We can only be positive for each other. Thank you, Jamie. Woo, woo, woo. And so something that I just always pay attention is just to that and like what I allow myself to accept. Because we don't have to accept what other people say. People can say shit to us all the time. Imagine, you know, people who try to be actors and actresses. Like I heard from Mamrie, like, you know, going to different auditions and hearing no all the time and you should have looked like this or should have said this. If we let all that stuff get in and under our skin and we accept it, like, oh, I'm not good enough this way. This isn't right. My coach told me I need to do this more. My teacher said this. My boss told me this. There's too much chatter. I don't have to accept it all. I don't have to agree with it and absorb it. I have the ability to stop it and to say, you know what? I don't agree. And I don't think that's true. And I think you're just angry. And shut it down. Thanks, Taylor. I'm glad that it can be helpful. So just pay attention to what you accept and what you allow people to say, because I think that that's something that's so empowering to me and helps me manage it better. Okay, Sheep asks, how do you deal with people who make themselves the victim in every situation? Truthfully, I don't hang around those people because they're toxic for me. Because I like to give and I like to help, and I find that to be a lot of energy out. And then in my experience, those ex-friends of mine who were, I call those martyrs, they want to be victims all the time, then I'm worn out and they never give back when I need it, and I find that to be really bad for me. And so overall, I would assess how much you're willing to give, and I would set a boundary. And if they request more, it's okay to say no. I don't have any more to give. That's all I got. All of that stuff. Because like Lauren said, I find them to be very toxic, and I do too. But Sheep's like, I can't stay away from my mother. But you don't have to engage in her emotional vampireness because she's sucking it out of you, and you don't have to let her. And so I think some of the things that we learn, or I've learned as I moved away from home and I'm an adult and I can like make decisions that as a kid we don't have the option to, I can, instead of just saying, yes, 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 what do you need? What do you need? I'll do it. And now I can say, I'm out of time. I've got to do this. I'm sorry. I know you're hurting, but walk away. We have the ability to say, I don't need to take this on. That's not my problem. I love you. I'll listen to you for a bit, but I can't, because we have to learn how much we're able to give and when enough is enough, and when we need to pretend we're taking a bath and in the bathroom with the door locked so no one bugs us, or if we have a lock on our room, we can go in there and say, I'm doing homework or whatever. I don't care what you make up, but we have to have boundaries around it, because otherwise it'll just suck you dry, be so draining. And even though we can't get away from them, we can still create space. Okay, one more question and then I got to go. Oh, of course, Ronnie. I'm happy I can be here. Yeah, Jamie, I stay in my cave. She totally does. Her room is her cave, and she stays there. Yeah, because like Wildflower says, self-care comes first. Because it's like the saying, like you can't love someone else if you don't love yourself first. It's really more, we can love someone else, but we won't be pulling from a full, healthy, happy us. And so if we let someone drain us so much, then we really can't be there for other people in our life, can't be there for ourselves, and we can't fully be there for them because we're out. We're full out. They like drained us dry. So just keeping that in mind, hopefully will keep us all feeling a little better, a little more recharged, and like you have a little more control in the situation. Okay, last question. Of course, Ashley Boss the volleyball, and yes, I always say your name. Thanks, Bryson, for the likes. Damon even knows that, like, a lot of people feel that way. I think it's really, really common. This is a good question. I'll answer two. So Brittany says, Katie, someone recently told me when I get stressed, thanks, Becky P. When I get stressed, I start acting more immature or childish. What could cause that? Is it regression in this sense? It can be regression. A lot of times when we're feeling maxed out, whatever it may be, whether it's like stress from work, life, whatever, overwhelm, can cause us to act out of some unhealthy coping skills, which regression really is one of those, because it's one of those things where when we feel, Caitlin, can you ask that question again? I really want to answer it, but it keeps wanting to jump. So, but I think that we can regress as a way to kind of cope with overwhelm, because it's safer back there when we're young and we're childish and when we don't have a lot of responsibilities. So yes, it's very common, especially with stress and overwhelm. And in our close relationships, because it's a way to like almost like hide ourselves from it and protect ourselves from the real realities of life. So it totally makes sense. But I would be interested if you have some trauma in your past, because usually that's where regression comes from. But, talk to your therapist about it. Okay, last question. Let's see. I asked somebody to put in her question. Oh, yay! Yay, Rachel. I'm glad you were able to get on. Okay, Caitlin P says, is attention-seeking behavior / relationships common with BPD? Yes. How do you deal with urge for people's attention? I'm nervous to tell my therapist. Don't be nervous to tell your therapist because, I mean, you can be nervous to tell your therapist. I'm not telling you how to feel. I'm just saying, don't worry, we've heard it all. Don't feel like there's going to be any judgment around this. But attention seeking, and in seeking relationships is very common in BPD because we come out of a sense of abandonment, feeling like we have no one. The only person we can rely on is ourselves. And so because, I've talked about the emotionally absent mother and having like that wound and that hole, and don't worry, I'm going to talk more about that. I haven't forgotten. But, oh, bye, Emily. Thanks for hanging out with us. So anyways, if we have that hole and we're looking to fill it, we're going to seek out, we're going to seek people, we're going to seek attention and love because we don't feel that inside ourselves. And so that's why it's very common. If you rewatch my video about borderline personality disorder, you can learn more about like all the different signs and symptoms because everyone is different. Not everyone has every one of them. But that'll tell you a little bit more about why we do seek that out. But it's because of that like wound in our young attachment that that we feel that way and that we struggle and that we seek it out in that fashion. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Amanda says, can you have PTSD and BPD? Does it happen often? I believe that I might, I think, assuming what she says. And yes, you can have both. I think the true test to find out what's happening is to work on the trauma. And also PTSD doesn't usually have like the attachment abandonment stuff with it. It's pretty easy to kind of tease out. Thanks, Ava. Woo! And so, yeah, just keeping that in mind. I don't think it's that hard to differentiate the two different diagnoses, but if you work on the trauma, then the PTSD will go away. Okay, everybody, I love you so much. Thank you for hanging out and making my day better, because like I said, I had a rough morning. So thank you for coming and hanging out and brightening my day. I love you. Have a good day. I hope that you all, thanks, Jamie. Woo, woo, woo. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day or night. It's Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. Let's finish strong. I will do a live stream on Friday. I just can't decide if what time it'll be on here or if it's on, like on Patreon, because everybody really loved that. But yeah, there'll be one on Friday. Follow me on Twitter for more details. And I will see you all then. Have a wonderful day. Bye.